Alright, so you've got your microphone, you've got your audio interface, and you've been recording, but you're still not getting consistent results. Today's video is going to be looking at the top 5 mistakes you could be making to mess up your chances of recording clean sounding records. So that being said, let's get straight into it. Shout out Notification Squad, definitely make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Check out links below to my vocal recording course, vocal mixing course, and vocal enhancer. Let's get it. So number 1 would be purchasing gear without actually first treating your room in any way. It's not that hard to just do a few basic things to actually get a better room sound. I see people all day asking me about new microphones, new audio interfaces, new compressors, new mic preamps, but never the question on basic acoustic treatment. That is literally the secret sauce to all great sounding recordings. It's just you want to figure out ways to deaden your room. Even if you are recording at home, you can use a blanket, for example. You can make your own DIY panels. You can go to Home Depot or wherever and get a few towels, anything like that. You can buy a mattress just to set up in the corner of a room, and you are literally going to get better sounding vocals off the bat, even with the cheap sounding microphone. So that's literally the secret sauce. Most people have blankets in their house. You don't need to buy an expensive microphone to get a amazing sound. So that's number 1. Number 2 would be not finding a consistent way of recording. One of the biggest things I do is pretty much set up my microphone in the same place, set up with the same settings, etc., to always get that consistent result that I'm looking for. A lot of people are trying all sorts of different things every time they record, and you'll never really be able to find that perfect point. So my advice for all the home recording artists is to spend a week or two just moving around your room, different microphone settings, figuring out different ways to actually record and gain stage. That way, every time you put up a beat, you can pretty much do the same stuff with it and then record in the same way, and then have a nice blank slate to work with. It is no point really going too crazy without finding that first consistent point in your recording chain, and that would generally be sitting or standing in a certain part of your room, figuring out what sounds good. And for example, if you've recorded a track that you really liked, look back on what you did. What type of microphone preamp setting were you using? What type of compressor did you use on the vocal chain, etc., etc. If you can do this, you're definitely going to get more consistent results. This is especially important if you are recording an album or mixtape or something like that. You don't want to begin mixing your record and have everything sound completely different. I would also advise for you to find similar types of beats or type beats from one producer. That way you kind of know the overall sound you're going to get at the end of your mix. Every producer makes beats a little bit differently. They're going to be mixing drums differently, their snares are going to sound different, etc. So find someone that works with your voice and then kind of stick to them, these beats from them, and you'll get way better sounding records. So there you go. Number 3 is for all of the rapper engineers out there, and this is definitely distracting yourself with too many plugins during the recording process. I know we have access to so many different plugins out there, but try as hard as possible to kind of default your template. So whatever way you choosing to record, make sure you're not allowing plugins to get in the way. One thing I would recommend for everyone that owns a template that I've made is to create a recording copy where basically you remove pretty much everything on the main vocal chain. It's also going to ease up on the CPU, and just keep like a compressor and an EQ on or something like that, just to know what your end result's going to sound like. Obviously make sure you're not hard recording those effects, and stick to that. You've got your reverb sends, you've got your delay sends, just to get that kind of extra bit of sauce while recording. But for the most part, you're not recording little bits and then spending half an hour trying to fix that little bit. That's just not the way that you should be recording, because within half an hour you've already lost that initial inspiration. So I highly recommend for you to default on your template, just kind of break it down, simple bare bones, and then focus solely on that recording process with just using a stock kind of template, and then later on focus on mixing or send your record off to be mixed. So that's definitely my recommendation for you. Number 4 would be, and I'm roasting the producers now, rapping over terribly mixed beats. Okay, if you have a really nice vocal chain and the beats that you're rapping over are really morphed, meaning too much bass, too many highs, no mids or whatever it may be, you're gonna find that your voice is never gonna quite sit on the beat as it should sit on the beat. That's something a lot of people ask me about as well. How do I make vocals sit on the beat? Generally, a good vocal chain and a good recording technique is going to make the vocal sit in the beat. But if the beat is really badly leveled, then you're never going to be able to get your vocal to really sit nicely in the middle of that full mix, right? You must understand that the beat is pretty much most of the record, right? All you can really add to a record is vocals, vocal doubles and some ad-libs, and that's really all you can add as a vocalist. So definitely make sure that you are learning to pick better sounding beats. This is definitely the secret sauce. When you listen to a lot of your favorite artists, listen to their beat selection and realize that they are pretty much hand selecting some of the best beats, and that's why their records are hits. So definitely check that out. Number 5, this is for all of you devil's lettuce smokers. I'm joking, man. So for everyone out there who smokes weed and engineers, I definitely wouldn't recommend that. I had a good time trying it out, but it definitely is not going to be productive in the long run. I would say that if you are a rapper and you're at a studio, have fun, whatever, right? But if you are in front of the board or in front of the computer, I don't recommend trying it out, simply because of the fact that every time you smoke, you can get distracted easily. You can become self-conscious, especially for if you are recording alone. I definitely recommend not to do it. Keep a level head so that you can focus solely on all the things you have to consider, right? I mean, you have to focus on the sound quality, the recording process, the raps that you're doing. This is pretty hard if you are a beginner, and adding weed and whatever else into the equation is definitely a no-go. It is going to really mess you up. So yeah, man, enjoy some afterwards, mix your record, and then smoke some bud if you are of the legal age. And that's my advice to you, man. So yeah, hopefully you guys and girls learned something. Hopefully this advice can apply to you. You can stop messing around and getting really good sounding records. I've been hearing some really cool stuff as of recently. People who've been using the templates, people who've watched the courses. I'm glad. I'm going to be focusing on some new courses in the week coming up. I've been sick, but I am back, so I should be uploading more. And yeah, man, we're gonna get straight back to it. So hopefully you had a good time. Definitely make sure to smash that like button below. Check out all the links for all the cool things, and I'll check you next time. Peace out.